All right, welcome to my video for Kinesiology 530. I'm here with my dad. Hello. Steve. And we're going to be going through 10 different exercises, 5 for shoulder labral surgery, post-surgery, and then 5 more exercises for post-ACL for upper body and lower body. All right, I know you can't really see me, but you can see my dad. So the first exercise is going to be a wide position shoulder extension. So my dad is going to begin with his fists, he's going to make fists with his hands, and he'll put his thumbs to the ceiling. And with that, he's going to keep his arms extended, and then he's going to bring his arms to the ceiling for 2 to 3 sets of 10 reps. And this is going to be an up-down motion, holding at the top for about 1 to 2 seconds, and then he'll return back down. All right, now on to our second exercise. My dad is going to perform a push-up. Nice. The only difference is the push-up plus, he's going to extend even further. A cue to kind of think about with this, instead of putting his head up.
Sorry.
All right, for this next exercise, my dad's going to perform a normal push-up. It's called push-up plus, and once he gets to the top, he's going to push even further, just like that, and he's going to be wanting to pronate the scapula, and this is going to be done 2 to 3 sets of 8 to 12 reps, and it'll help with scapular mobility and core strength. Perfect. All right, for this next exercise, this is going to be the kneeling shoulder stability exercise. My dad's going to be perpendicular to a wall. There'll be a band here or cable tied off to something, and this is where he'll hold this position, keeping his core stable. And when this band is here, you could have it in different directions. You could have it straight out, you could have it off to the side, and that will be engaging the core from anti-rotation. So this will be good for shoulder stability and core stability as well. All right, for this next exercise, this is called quadruped rhythmic stabilization. My dad will be on his hands and knees. If you're on your feet, it makes it a little more difficult, but he'll have one arm out. There he goes, on his feet, pretty handy. We'll have one arm out, and then the trainer's gonna come over there. He's gonna be kind of pushing on that arm, trying to kind of knock off balance. And this is gonna be done in 3 sets of around 30 seconds per rep. If you have a really injured arm, you're going to want to have that injured arm be up and then have the healthy arm be on the ground, just to kind of work on that rehab progress. And to make it more difficult, you can use a foam pad to make it unstable, or you can go onto your feet. All right, this next exercise is going to be plank shoulder taps. My dad will be in a plank position. You can kind of see how he's kind of making random movements. You want to tell your client to keep his hips stable, hips down, and keep his face looking down to the ground. So just reaching over, trying to keep his upper body stable. And this is going to be done in 3 sets of around 10 reps each. Core stabilization and shoulder strength. All right, this next one many people have probably done before, but this is going to be a single leg Romanian deadlift. You're going to have your client stand on one leg and use that opposite arm to reach down to the ground. Perfect. Hinging at the hip and then returning to the start position. And this is going to be focusing on hamstring stability, single leg stability, while also keeping the upper body stable. All right, here's our second lower extremity exercise. This is going to be a lateral band walk. So he's going to kind of be like a crab, having a band around his ankles, and he's going to move from side to side. You're going to feel this in your adductors and abductors, depending on how you're moving. And you can increase the ability for it to be more difficult by adding a thicker band or getting into a lower squat position. All right, this one's pretty simple, but this will be to help with proprioceptive abilities and somatosensory abilities for my dad as he recovers from his ACL injury and surgery. So we're gonna have my dad stand on one leg, and I'm gonna kind of push on his shoulder, kind of push him different directions. You can notice he's reaching down with his foot. This is going to be good for the client to know client's limits, while also kind of getting a number of like, hey, he did 10 foot taps in this set. Let's see how he does in a couple weeks. To make it more difficult, the client can shut his eyes and then go on one foot. And even without me touching, it's already more difficult. And then adding that adds to the difficulty. All right, this next exercise is going to be good for keeping this lower body stable while he's doing an overhead press. We don't have a dumbbell, so we grabbed a stool. This is going to be focusing on keeping everything in line with the lower body. To make it more difficult and to focus more on the lower body, you can bring that front or that back knee off the ground so he's in more of a lunge, and that's going to be even more difficult for keeping the body stable. All right, this next exercise is going to be focusing on the glutes, hamstring, and lumbar stabilization. I'll have my dad perform a hip bridge, and he's going to bring his knees up like he's running while also keeping his hips stable. This is something that can be kind of painful on the lower back, so you got to make sure that this is done progressively, and this will also strengthen the knees and lumbar spine. All right, thanks for watching. For Tony's training techniques, this is my dad. We're signing out.
So long.